Welcome to Gene and Mike do the New York Times crossword.
Hi, I'm Jean.
And I'm Mike. And today we are doing the crossword for Friday, January 10th, 2025. So, on the second Friday of the year, not that anyone's counting, did you do the crossword?
Yes, I did.
And was it a great, fantastic, fabulous Friday crossword?
It was a fast Friday crossword.
Was it?
Yeah.
It was as well for me. This was actually, I got my best time of the week today, other than Monday.
Really?
Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I was slower than I was today.
Wow.
I don't know what was going on.
Uh-huh.
Will Shorts is playing games with me somehow. But I just tore through this. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking, based on my current trend, I was thinking it was going to take me 2 days to do today's, but not even close.
Mm-hmm.
So...
Well, it was an interesting looking puzzle when you first just glanced at it, because it had 4 clusters of black squares sort of intersecting the sides, right in the middle of each side. And then it had a long diagonal line of black squares right through the middle, mm-hmm. which assured you that there were no extremely long answers, but there were a lot of, like 7-8 letter answers that can sometimes be really difficult to figure out. But
yes,
but no, it was not too bad. Mm-hmm. It was challenging, but still, we made it through pretty quickly.
Right.
And of course, working with another person helps a lot, because boy, one person might say something, and the other one, jogs the other person's brain to say, no, it's this, mm-hmm. And so, working together always makes it go a lot faster. But
well, I think the secret
for me, a lot more fun.
Right. Yes. I think the secret of the success for me was the fact that there was not a lot of pop culture in here.
No, that's true.
And that's, as soon as I run into pop culture or Spanish, I start to get wobbly. Mm-hmm. But there was none of that. There were no exotic foods, although there was 32 down. Grand Marnier ingredient avec un cognac. And the answer was l'orange.
Oh, that's right.
Or l'orange, I guess. Mm-hmm. But that wasn't, I didn't know that. I tend not to be an expert on alcoholic drinks.
No.
But in any event, that wasn't too hard.
Good.
And there was a reference to, 39 across, insert in a tall glass, perhaps, bendy straw.
Right.
Which we just had a little while ago.
Yeah, that's true.
I think this is a reward for frequent crossword solvers.
Uh-huh. We had crazy straw in there for
really?
A while, but we had to take it out because it just wasn't working.
I got the word straw. I think I was working from the back and then thought, it's bendy straw. And that Y of bendy ran into 28 down. Rolling source of entertainment. Party bus.
Right.
Thought that was sort of cute.
Yeah. And 26 down was kind of fun, too. Not quite informally. Kinda, sorta.
Yes.
Oh.
Kinda, sorta.
Sometimes you get kinda, and sometimes you get sorta, but I don't ever remember getting them together. Kinda, sorta.
Well, I will tell you, it has happened before.
Uh-huh.
Because this is not a debut, answer.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
We did have something else that was not a debut answer, 34 down, making weaker in gamer jargon, and that was nerfing. I stand corrected. It was in that form. It was, in fact, a debut answer. Oh. But they used nerf or nerfed lately.
Nerf's been in lots of times.
Well, but they used it to refer to the fact that a gamer has been somehow impaired.
Oh.
So that, I was thinking of that meaning because of that. Mm. So that had been mentioned frequently, but I guess it wasn't the word nerfing, because, as I say, this is the first time it's appeared here. Let's see. We had 2 down. I thought was fun. Unclaimed. No one's.
Yes, it took a little bit, but yeah, that was a great answer.
And then something that should have been obvious, 12 across, polo participants, was ponies.
Right.
I thought horses.
I put riders to start with.
Well, they also participate. Mm-hmm. I suppose you could put the mallets as well.
That's right. I mean, they're sort of the major participants.
Right.
But ponies, you got to have ponies.
Theoretically, you could just have polo players on top of other polo players.
Right.
But that would just be weird.
Very.
In fact, it might even be one down, salacious,
Yes.
which is spicy. That is a great word, spicy, to describe salacious.
Yep.
Let's see. 6 across was amusing. High chairs, stools.
I thought stools right away.
Uh-huh.
But then I thought, it wouldn't be stools. But it was. Yep.
Well, I had trouble with, let's see, it was 6 down because the clue was surf site. And so I thought, it's got something to do with the web.
Oh.
But no, they meant real surf.
Real surfing,
it was
yeah.
shore. And I sure missed that one. Haha.
Yep.
Right, close to that, 10 down, hypothetical starting point. Let's say, I like that.
That was a good one, too.
Yeah.
I like that one, too.
There were a lot of good clues in here.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, another one, 14 down. It stands out in a print. Whorl.
Right.
That was amusing.
Uh-huh.
They kept bringing in television stations. 18 across was This Is Blank, and that could have been, I thought, anything, but it was CNN.
Right.
And then we had 41 across, basic cable channel, USA.
Yes, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I did. It's just like, it could be any cable channel. And then I realized I don't know any cable channels, but I got it through the crosses.
Well, I knew HBO, but I figured that's not with basic cable. You got to pay extra for that one, I think.
Yes,
So,
undoubtedly. Seems to have to pay extra for everything. We had 31 down, blank poet, description of Robert Burns, peasant, the peasant poet.
Peasant poet.
I had peoples. I thought it would be the people's poet.
Oh, uh-huh.
And then he's Scottish, right? So I was trying to think of something Scottish to fit, but
yeah, I kind of drew a blank on that, but figured it out.
right.
I liked 14 across. Sarcastic response to an obvious statement. Who knew?
Yes. Yeah. You can even hear the tone of the voice.
Yes.
Who knew?
Well, and then another one here, 22 across. No doubt in my mind. Yeah, I'm sure.
We had 44 across, private watering hole, and it turned out to be canteen.
Right.
That was very good. I was thinking it was
Kind
good.
of private than you're thinking of.
Right.
Maybe.
Yeah, I was thinking of like an oasis or something.
Yeah.
But let's see. Rivet was engross.
Yep.
I wasn't thinking of it in those terms, but did. And then beneath that, the Rathskeller supply.
Which one is that?
There's 50 across.
Oh, okay.
Rathskeller supply was Steins.
Right.
I don't know very much about Rathskeller, but apparently they sell Steins.
It's I think commonplace for a drinking establishment.
Ah.
I think Rathskeller is maybe like underground. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
But like some restaurants you have to go downstairs and they're kind of underground.
Well, I don't even know, if I'd like to appeal to listeners for help. I don't even know which country to ask with a name like Rathskeller. German? Okay. German listeners, are you familiar with Rathskeller Supply? Are you thinking we should be familiar with Rathskeller Supply? We are not. So if you can help us, that would be grand. Crosswordpodcast@icloud.com.
Yeah, I just looked it up.
Oh, okay. Never mind, German listeners. We got it figured out.
Rathskeller is a name in German-speaking countries for a bar or restaurant located in the basement of a city hall.
What?
Or
of
nearby.
a city hall?
Or nearby.
Well, that's a very...
The city hall is called the Rap House.
That's a very relaxed country.
Yeah.
Actually, probably a good thing. Okay, we've got a bunch of politicians. Let's get some beer. Maybe they'll make better decisions.
Yep.
Let's see. What else did we have? 45 down was prefix with athlete. And I thought pro, as in pro athlete.
Oh.
But it was tri, as in
Yes.
triathlete.
Yes.
I guess come to think of it, pro athlete is probably
Pro is
two words.
Not a prefix.
Right.
It's a separate word.
Yep. 47 down, start to work, question mark. And it was an abbreviation, and the answer was MUN for Monday.
Right, yeah, that was funny too.
I don't know why I knew, or at least recognized once I got it that this was correct, but 16 down, natural rug fibers were sisals.
Yes, well, that's been in the puzzle a lot.
A lot?
That's a pretty common crossword word, I think.
It's appeared 6 times. I'm not sure if we should...
No.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Total of 15 times.
Yeah, but what about just sisal?
Sisal? Mm-hmm. As in Sisal B. DeMille? Wait, wrong one. Sisal has appeared 142 times.
Yeah, you see it, every few months.
Right. Well, you see it. Mm-hmm. I apparently skip right over it. So it first appeared, for those of you who like to keep track of these things, in 1945.
Wow.
When it was clued as rope fiber.
Yep.
And that was Waldo Ranson was the constructor, and Farrer was the editor. Mm-hmm. Who was editor for a very long time. Let's see. 29 across. I found that fascinating. Let's see if I can get back to it. Mm-hmm. MLB team that was the first to trade a player for himself, Harry Chiti, in 1962. The answer was Mets.
Right.
I want to know how that happened.
Me too.
Oh, I figured you'd know.
No.
No? Okay.
No. That's old-time baseball lore that I do not know.
I imagine a mustache was involved and possibly a fake nose. It's like, surprise, you just traded me for me.
Or maybe he had an alias, like Babe Ruth. Like, we could get Babe Ruth.
Actually,
his alias
he
name.
probably called himself Baby Ruth and said, hey, if you don't like me, have a chocolate bar.
He was playing in 1962, which was well after when Babe Ruth played, but he could maybe be Mickey Mantle.
Well, he could be Baby Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth's kid. Hi.
Could have been Mikey Mantle. He said, let's get him.
Yeah, that was just amazing to me.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. I think we got most of the relevant clues here. So I think we got the finest, although there were a lot of fine ones that we're probably missing here.
It was a very entertaining puzzle. It didn't take me very long, but...
No, it was fun.
It was a lot of fun, yeah.
And that one about the player who was traded for himself, I mean, that really is a spectacular clue. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. And this puzzle was by Robert Logan. This is his 5th. And he's done 4 Fridays and 1 Saturday. Mm. And this was edited by Will Shorts.
Very good.
Bravo.
Yep.
So it is Friday.
Yes, it is.
Which means it's time for Fun Fact Friday. Do you have a fun fact for Fun Fact Friday?
I do.
Excellent.
In yesterday's puzzle, they were using the NATO alphabet.
I recall.
And there was a clue that was Sierra Leone.
Yes.
And the answer to that was Sergio.
Yes.
And so I thought maybe a fun fact about Sergio Leone.
Okay, since I don't know anything at all about Sergio Leone.
You say you don't, but you will know who this person is when I tell you.
Oh, yeah.
He was an Italian filmmaker credited as the pioneer of the spaghetti western genre. He's widely regarded as one of the most influential directors in the history of cinema.
Really?
Yes. And one of the things that was sort of his style was juxtaposing extreme close-up shots with lengthy long shots. He grew up in Italy. He was born in Rome, and he was the son of a cinema pioneer, Vincenzo Leone. Okay. And his mother was a silent film actress. So he sort of had, filmmaking in the blood there.
Right.
But what I wanted to talk about were his films. In the 1960s, he made 3 films: A Fistful of Dollars.
Heard of that?
And what are the other 2? For a Few Dollars More.
I think I've heard of that.
And The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Oh, definitely heard of that.
And of course, whose career those films skyrocketed.
Oh, I wish you wouldn't make statements like that.
Clint Eastwood.
Ah, okay.
Clint Eastwood was just kind of a TV actor, getting bit parts here and there. And then he starred in that first one, A Fistful of Dollars. Mm-hmm. And so it just skyrocketed his career. And so, he was kind of the king of the spaghetti Western in the 1960s, because he made all of these Westerns. The interesting thing was Sergio Leone had never been to the United States. He had never been to the West, and he really did not know too much about cowboys and that whole part of our history. Mm-hmm. He filmed these in Spain, so he didn't even use the United States as a place for filming. Mm-hmm. But I just thought that was very, very interesting. Then in the 1970s, he directed a film called Duck, You Sucker, which was a Mexican Revolution action drama starring James Coburn and Rod Steiger. Then he did a number of other films throughout the 70s, and then in the 80s, he was offered The Godfather.
He did The Godfather?
No, he turned it down because he wanted to work on another gangster movie called Once Upon a Time in America that featured Robert De Niro and James Wood.
I've heard of that.
Yes. Well,
I've heard of every film he's made.
It was an extremely long film. I think it was like 44 hours.
44 hours?
No, 4 hours.
Oh, actually, even 4 hours is...
Right. And it had a record-breaking ovation of nearly 20 minutes at the 1984 Cannes Film Festival. Reportedly heard by diners at restaurants across the street from where it was being shown.
They were probably just applauding because it was over.
And I guess that's fairly common now, but back in the 1980s, that just was not done. So people just thought it was a wonderful film. But the studios were like, oh, nobody's going to sit for a 4-hour film.
Right.
So they cut it down to 2 and just kind of destroyed it.
Oh.
So, which was too bad. And it really kind of broke Sergio there. But then it did come out later in the 4-hour. It kind of had a resurgence. Mm-hmm. Came out later in the 4-hour version and did pretty well.
And they could just have an intermission.
Yeah, they could have. I mean, like Gone with the Wind. That was a 4-hour film.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, unfortunately, he died when he was 60 years old from a heart attack. But he had all kinds of things in the works, and some of the films did actually become filmed, even though he wasn't a part of them. But anyway, that is who Sergio Leone is.
Wow.
Famous movie director, sort of the person who invented the spaghetti Western.
Uh-huh.
And helped Clint Eastwood become the famous person he is today.
Fascinating. That was a fascinating fun fact.
Well, good. I'm glad you liked it.
Yep. And we hope you did too, listeners. Let us know, crosswordpodcast at iCloud.com. Which was your favorite Sergio Leone movie? Yeah, let us know that as well. Crosswordpodcast at iCloud.com. That is it for today. We'll be back again with our cutting-edge analysis of the hardest crossword of the week, usually Saturdays.
Right.
And we'll be back with that analysis tomorrow.
Bye-bye.